are listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level. Today's show is sponsored by Dr. Jacqueline. Take charge of your life personally, financially, and professionally. Visit drjacqueline.com to book an appointment today.
Hello and welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline, live here on Business Talk Radio and social media. Our program is all about stories of hope, inspiration, and overcoming adversity. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. I am a certified life and career coach. We are going to hear from someone who is really changing the world, helping people break through barriers. She is a coach. She's an expert in social media. She's a TEDx speaker. Let's bring her on. Tina Brigley. Hi, Tina. Welcome.
Hey, Dr. Jacqueline. Thank you. Hey, everybody.
So good to see you on this Friday.
Oh my gosh. So great to see you too. It's like, it feels like I've been waiting for a long time for this day. And here it is.
I think so. I think you booked your session a while back. So thanks for your patience.
Yeah, I think it was about 3 months ago. So yeah, it's really fun and really excited to meet you face to face. So.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the broadcast. So Tina, share with us and our audience a little bit about you and what it is that you do.
So I'm a breakthrough results coach and head of social influence at a company called High Performing Coach. And we train and develop coaches to be, I was going to swear, but it's probably not a good idea, but we help them to really step into their power and show up powerfully online. So it's really exciting. And actually, I just got off an 8-hour workshop, so I'm still buzzing from that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're glowing actually. So your energy level it's coming across. You look fantastic. It's like, what is she doing? I want to follow her.
It's just so exciting when you see people having these breakthroughs and you see them stuck and stopped, and then they see what they're hanging on to in these limiting beliefs, and then they break through that. It's like a miracle happening before your eyes. And when you see it over and over and over again, it's what motivates me to get out of bed every day. I just love it. I'm like, whose life can I transform today? Who's next?
So we have a clip that I want to play in a couple of minutes, but where are you located?
So I'm in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
You're in Canada. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you're an hour earlier than we are here. Are you the same?
Yeah, it's 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay, so it's the same. So you happen to have a very large network, and people want to know, how is it that you get to have so many followers? How is it you get to have so many connections? Can you share how that's been able to be an accomplishment for you in your role helping break through?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is show up authentically. Sometimes we pretend to be somebody that we're not, and the people feel that. They know that you're being fake and phony. So for me, I've grown my community organically and authentically by sharing my stories, sharing who I am. I share my breakdowns. I share my breakthroughs. I share my life. I share about my kids. And I think that's what people are really craving in the world today, that connection, feeling like they're connected to somebody. And I live my life authentically. That's all I can say. I practice what I preach, and I preach what I practice. So there's no, what you see is what you get. And if something's there for me, I'll say, this is really there for me right now. Let me share. So, my clients and my community, they know that I'm the storyteller. So I'm always going to have a story to share. And I believe that stories are what connects the world. It's something that we've been doing for, millions of years, as far as time can tell, right? So.
And some people are better at telling stories than others. And I can tell you are a true dynamo. And you're the kind of person that by leading with authenticity, people want to open up to you. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we create the space for them to feel free to be themselves. So if I'm being authentic and I'm sharing, what people are experiencing is, wow, she's just like me. And I'm where she used to be, and I want to be where she is now. So it's almost like this experience of, I trust you because you've been there, you've done it, you've overcome, and I want to overcome too. So it's really empowering. It's really exciting. And I say this, to coaches all the time. Your people are out there waiting for you. There's over 7 billion people in the world, and the world needs coaches. So just show up and your people will find you. And I feel that people are afraid sometimes to show up authentically, that they have to mask who they are. But I say, take the mask off, just be you, because your people will love you for you right now.
That's beautiful. When was the first time, Tina, that you remember showing up authentically? And maybe before you weren't really taking note, but you showed up authentically and all of a sudden someone's like, whoa, what does she have? What is she doing? Where is she going? I want to follow her. I want to be part of her group. Do you remember?
Oh man, it's a funny story. So I used to be an educator. I was a special education teacher for 14 years, and I invested in a coach. So I took a coaching program. Then when I was complete that program, I decided I wanted to get a business coach to help grow my coaching business. And so 6 weeks after I invested in this coach, I quit teaching. Like, a great job, 6 figures, pension benefits. But I was asked this question, do you want to be a teacher or do you want to be a coach? And I said, well, of course I want to be a coach. And, but I didn't think it was possible for me, but she just planted this seed inside of me. So I ended up leaving teaching. And then somebody told me, Tina, you have to network. You have to put yourself out there. So I remember going to my first networking event. And I sat in my car for 20 minutes and cried because I was so scared. I was terrified to walk in the door. So once I pulled myself together, I went into this business networking group. There's all of these really, powerful people up to big things in the world. And I was feeling like an imposter because I was a teacher and I just finished up this coaching certification. So I was afraid of people asking me questions. What do I do? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling my way into this. But I remember somebody coming up and introducing themselves to me. And they're like, hey, what do you do? And I said, you know what? I think I'm a coach, but I'm not too sure because 2 weeks ago I was a teacher. So I'm still feeling my way in this space. And this is my first networking event. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty scared and worried and nervous about what people might think about me, but I decided I'm going to come anyways. And then the person started laughing. They're like, that is the most honest answer I've ever heard. Like, that's the most honest connection I've ever felt. And, we just laughed about it. Right. And even though I was crying 20 minutes before, I felt that was authentic. I felt like I didn't have to hide that I was really scared, and being scared in that moment was okay. I didn't have to fake that. It was just true.
Thank you for sharing that, your transparency. And by the way, we're kindred spirits, because when I was in my corporate world that I retired from last year, I had to go to networking functions all the time. And for some reason, instead of showing up as Jacqueline Kerbeck, the professional, right, the career person, I showed up as a woman. And as a woman, I felt really insecure, if that makes any sense. It's like, oh, I don't want people looking at me. And I would get really nervous and I have like little sweat beads dripping down my back. And I eventually just started telling people, you know what, I feel really nervous in these networking events. And then I just laughed later because, over time, because everybody feels nervous at some point. And then you just realize we're just people. Just be who you are.
Yeah, we're just living it a human experience. So let's just experience it and not make it wrong or right or good or bad. It's an experience. And I believe that's why people feel a connection with me, because I tell it like it is. Like, I hopped on an enrollment call with somebody and I broke down crying. I've never done this before, but I just had one of those days. And I said, I'm really sorry. I cannot be fully present for you because I'm just dealing with some stuff in the background. And I'm actually struggling today. And this isn't typical for me. And I want to make sure that I show up my best for you. And like, it took something for me to do that because I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to have these emotions. I'm supposed to pull it together. And I've been in situations where I've literally, like, I've witnessed accidents and people die in front of me, and I've saved people's lives, and I've been holding my stuff together in all of that. But just the other day, for some reason, things were stacking and I just wasn't okay. And in a moment, I was kind of in this space of, I shouldn't do that. I should just suck it up. But I was like, but I can't powerfully show up for somebody else if that energy is in the space. And she was totally great with it. You know, she said, I appreciate that because I want all of you on this call, you know, and it wasn't significant or right or wrong. It was just, it's what it was, you know?
I love how real you were. And by the way, when you are real like that, it creates an atmosphere of trust and respect. So I'm sure that that person has the highest regard for you for doing that.
Yeah. And I figured like she was a client of ours, so she knows me. So I didn't feel like it was a brand new person, because if it was a brand new person, I probably would have just rescheduled the call. Right. But I thought, oh no, I can get this together. But then as soon as I saw her, I had the thought, like, she deserves better. She deserves more than what I'm giving her. I'm giving her half of me right now, and I'm not okay with that. So yeah, I still, it's hard when you do something like that, when you're vulnerable and you get stuck in your head, but it really is just getting stuck in your head about it. It's just a story, and people are going to believe what they believe and think what they think. And that's okay too. But I always got to be true to me. And that's most important, because I can't fake that. You know, I can't fake pretend that I'm okay when I'm not. It's just not aligned with who I am, and especially showing up authentically in the world. That's an inauthentic way of being that I'm just not committed to. So I couldn't fake it.
Well, good for you. That's being a leader and a role model, in my opinion. And we have to take a break, but before we do, I want to give out the telephone number. We would love to hear from you, right, Tina? You want people calling in, asking questions.
Yes. Oh my gosh, call in. I love answering questions.
The number to call is 631-438-1109. And if you're on social media watching, please go to the comments, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitch TV, because we will read your comments out loud. Stay tuned. We will be right back on Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline, live here on Business Talk Radio and social media with Tina Brigley. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our Ministry Alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
Hey everybody, Tina Brigley here. Do you want your social media posts to be as addictive as the Netflix show that you're binge watching right now? Come on, we all do it. We all have that one thing, that one vice that we just can't get enough of. This is the reason why. It's addictive. It releases dopamine in our brain, a feel-good pleasure chemical that increases our motivation, increases our attention. Now just imagine that you create content that's so engaging and so addictive that your potential clients can't wait to get enough of you. They can't wait to see what you're going to put out next. So I am going to give you 3 strategies to be able to not make noise online, but create music that stays in their mind long after the post is gone. Strategy number 1, have fun. If you're not excited, they won't be excited. Don't be afraid to use humor in your messages, or don't be afraid to share yourself or your stories, and don't be afraid to make fun of yourself every once in a while. Strategy number 2, be consistent. If you choose to post every Thursday, make sure you're posting every Thursday. If you want to post twice a week, make sure you're posting twice a week. People will crave and be addicted to your content. They'll want to watch, they'll want to listen, they'll want more. And if you don't show up, they'll find somebody else to go follow. So you don't want to give them that opportunity. Make sure you're posting consistently. Strategy number 3, don't be afraid to share your story. Share your life, share your environment. People want to know, do I know you? Do I like you? Do I trust you? And if you're real and authentic with them, that shines through on video. Be yourself. Don't be afraid to share your life, your ups, your downs, your fears, because your potential clients are feeling the same way. And they want to know if you can overcome it, so can I. They want to see and they want to trust in a coach that has been there and that can take them where they want to be. So I hope you got value from this video. Let's release dopamine in the community, in our environment, in our networking groups. Let's give value to people, and let's do it in a way that makes them become addicted to you. There's so many people that are addicted to so many things. Why not be addicted to your content? So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you got value and you think it might help somebody else, feel free to share, give me a comment. I'd love to know. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Well, wasn't that inspiring? I loved it. Welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacqueline, live on Business Talk Radio and social media. We are with Tina Brigley, and we just watched your clip, and I feel like, yes, so much energy. Have fun. Be consistent and be authentic. Great tips. And it looks like Tina might have frozen up a bit. So anyway, we will continue on. Oh, there she is. You're back.
Yeah, I froze up for a minute. I think the world was so excited by my video that it shut down the system.
I loved it. It was fantastic.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. My daughters and I like to have fun. So my daughter actually gave me the inspiration and helped me film it. She's like, you gotta chop it, Mom. You gotta do things fun. And I'm like, I don't know. She does all this Instagram photos and videos, and she's 12. So she's my videographer. How'd you like that?
It was excellent. So where did you actually film that, Tina?
In my backyard.
Oh my gosh, this looks beautiful.
Yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere. I have no neighbors. That's why the internet system, sometimes it gets a little glitchy if it's windy, if it's snowing, if it's raining. My internet is not very good, but we do what we can, and we enjoy the times when it's glitch free. So.
Tina, let's talk about how a potential client would work with you. What is your process?
So the process is usually I reach out to people on social media like LinkedIn. I'll build a relationship with them. I share valuable content. I give stuff away. And then my process is I want to give value. I want people to know me, and I want them to know if what I have to offer is something that they need and they want. So it's usually like a connection. We build a relationship. I do a free workshop every single week. My partner does a free workshop every week. So we invite people to our free workshop. We have 7-day challenges where we coach an hour a day. And we do this, we're starting one on Monday, and then we do one at least twice a month for a couple months in a row. And so, yeah, we just give value, and then we don't sell anything on the workshops. We usually just invite people to have a conversation with us. And if they are stuck or stopped in their business and they want to have a breakthrough, then we invite them to hop on a call with our team to see what's getting in their way of powerfully taking their business to the next level. So that's our process. It's all about value. You know, we really truly believe you have to give more than you receive. And so we give a lot. We give everything away. Our YouTube channel, our podcast, our free workshops, our free challenges. And then we know if people are committed, then they'll say yes. And if not, that's okay too. We still give value. So we want everybody to win the game that they're creating, that they are playing. And we know that when you have a coach in your corner and a system to support that and accountability, it's a method that it works, right? So we're not afraid to give it all away.
That's really beautiful. For people who are listening on the radio, I'll ask you this again later, but what's the best way to get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, Tina Brigley on LinkedIn, that's great. Or you can go to my website. There's a lot of free resources there. There's an opportunity to come to a workshop or sign up for our challenge. But that's probably the best way, either LinkedIn or the website.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's great. So, Tina, I want to go back to what you had shared earlier when you had someone you were about to onboard and you weren't feeling quite yourself. This happens all the time around the world, especially now. And I know I have certain things that I do when I feel overwhelmed or overcome. But I'm wondering, in that moment, what did you do after you got off the call to try to pull yourself back in?
Yeah. So what I recognized right away is that I had like something that happened that was a little disempowering in the day. And then I got stuck in the story about it. And then I just started stacking the evidence that it was true. And so this is what we do when things are happening in the world and we feel a certain way. We go and look for evidence that it's true. And then what happens is sometimes we can go into a downward spiral. And I usually catch it right away. But it was almost like one thing happened, then another thing, then another thing. It was 7 things that were stacked up. But instead of getting the first thing complete and out of the space, I didn't have time because I had to be on another call, another, So in that moment, when I got off the call with her, the first thing that I did was I meditated. So I have a guided meditation that I use to really help me refocus my energy and to visualize like the negative energy going into the ground and my existence being filled with positive energy. So that was the first thing that I did. And then the second thing that I had to do was there was a situation where my integrity was out, and the lack of integrity created this ripple effect. So I had to restore my integrity at the source and just say, what was there for me about it, because it created all this other drama and stuff that I didn't need, but I realized it came from my integrity being out. So then as soon as I restored my integrity, everything else kind of fell into place. And so I had to call a few people and I had to just get it complete, right? And that's the thing when you are like, the way that I go through life is I am not only responsible for my life and how it turns out. I come from a place of I'm responsible for the world. And if my world doesn't work, the world doesn't work. So I take integrity like to the extreme. If I'm late for a call, I will restore my integrity. If I'm late for a meeting, I restore my integrity. If I'm not showing up my best, I restore my integrity. So those are the 2 things that I do to get out of that situation. And then I got fresh air. I find that sometimes when you're in an office or basement, or like my office is in the basement, and sometimes when I'm feeling like that experience of, oh my gosh, it's so heavy, you feel like you can't breathe, I just go outside in the air, in the fresh air, and just get re-enlivened by my surroundings, and then get really grounded in the gratitude. And I say to myself, thank you for giving me that experience, because that experience helped me develop my character. That experience helped me to restore my integrity. That experience helped me to become a better coach and a better human being. So everything that happens, sometimes when you're in the moment, it's thick and it's heavy. But then after, when you can sit back and reflect and you see the lesson and you get that it was there to teach you something, it was there for you to give away to somebody else, then I just really get present to the gratitude and the appreciation for having that experience, although it felt uncomfortable at the time and I didn't want to deal with it and I didn't want to be responsible. But then when I got back, when I became present to who I am in the world and the leader that I am, there's no other way to live. You got to clean it up. You got to clean up your crap.
That was a great share. Thank you so much. And I believe, as you mentioned about meditation, I'm a certified meditation teacher, and I also believe in gratitude. What about for our friends out there who don't meditate yet? Maybe they're not focused on gratitude or keeping a journal of affirmations. Do you have any feedback for them about what they can do to have their breakthrough? Looks like Tina's frozen. So I'll just share for myself. When I get overwhelmed, what I'll do is I'll say to myself, sometimes I'll say it out loud, you have 10 minutes or you have half an hour, or you have an hour to have a pity party, to be angry, to whatever it is that you need to do. And then that's it. That's it. Then we're back to doing good for the world, being authentic. Tina, what are your thoughts about how someone can have a breakthrough if they're not someone who meditates, they're not someone who practices gratitude yet? What are some of the things that can be the next step for them?
Hire a coach.
I like it.
Hire a coach. You know, I have two right now. I have a business coach and I have a personal coach. I have a coach that helps me stay grounded in my energy and keeps me really present to who I am as a leader. But, you know, I don't just say that because I am a coach. I say that because a coach is who helped me get to where I am today. Coaches help me become this human being that I am today. And who I am today is not even close to the human being that I was 3 years ago. So for me, I believe that coaches are leading the way. They're helping people live their best lives. And so I would always recommend, you know, hire a coach. If there's an area of your life where you're stuck or stopped, we have this tendency to feel like this is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be. But that's not the truth. That's just, you know, what we're resigned to believe. And, you know, having just been introduced to this world of personal development only 4 years ago, I feel like I'm addicted now because I know that every time I get a coach, I become better. I give more to the world. So I can't preach enough about that. It's so valuable. Be willing to invest in yourself because you're worth the investment. You're totally worth the investment. And when you believe that you're worth the investment, miracles start happening in your life. Families get transformed in you showing up your best version. You know, your health, your relationships, your family, what you're up to in the world is just, you get to pull out the authentic version of yourself. And that's power. That's complete power.
Very well said. I have to agree with you. I have 5 coaches now, actually. And,
wow.
And the funny thing is that in each case, I selected them because they're someplace that I want to go. And so they already know what to look for. They've already seen around the corners of what's waiting. So people might be saying, yeah, that's great. Get a coach. But what if they don't have money? What if they have financial ruin? What if, you know, they just lost their business? I found, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, I found that sometimes people can barter services. So maybe there's some kind of arrangement. You can have XYZ services in exchange for some coaching sessions. And then when things change, like you just mentioned, you're giving a lot of your services away for free so that people can see the value that you and your team bring.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing because what I always say, it's never about the money. And even when people are losing their businesses, see, because money is energy. And, you know, we can either live in this place of scarcity or abundance. And when you believe that your current situation is just your current situation, and that when you really believe that there's something better for you, and the reason why I believe this so deeply is because I remember a woman came to me and she said, Tina, I'm on social assistance. I don't have any money. And so anyways, I just heard her and she said, you know, how she's been living and the scarcity and the lack. And I said, tell me your vision. What is it that you want to create? She said, you know, I'm an artist. I love art. I would love to create, you know, like a business where I can incorporate art. And, you know, so she just created this big, larger than life business. And I saw her as what was possible. And I said, how important is it for you to step into that? She said, more than anything. I said, what are you willing to do to create it? And she said, I'll sell things that I don't need. You know, like she just started looking for a way and she found a way. And she not only created a business in less than 2 months, her business exploded. It exploded. Like it just took off. So I always believe that where there is a will and a hunger, and people believe that there's something better, they really believe that this is temporary for them, they can create more abundance. They can do something different. And so I have, when people are really hungry, I didn't barter, but I've said something like, what would be stretchy for you? That it would be uncomfortable and it would take something, but it would be an investment. And so I've reduced my prices, but I only do that for people that are really hungry, and I believe they will do the work to get the results. So, because I see them not as how they're showing up right in front of me, I see them as what's possible. And where they are right now is definitely not where they're heading, but they gotta want that. And I want to know, do you really want it? Because if you do, how bad do you want it? What are you going to create to get it? So that's kind of my take on it. A little bit.
I like it. That's a lot of nuggets of information that are really powerful. And that's a great way to close out our program. I can't believe our time is up. But Tina, how can people get in touch with you?
Man, find me on Facebook, Tina Marie Brigley, LinkedIn, Tina Brigley. I have a YouTube channel, but it's not very active, I got to admit. I'm working on it, but it's not quite there. But yeah, find me on social media, connect with me, let me know that you heard me on the radio. Share your story with me. I love stories. But yeah, I'm really excited. I wish people would have called in, but
I know, me too. People are shy, I guess.
I guess.
Shy. Well, please contact Tina on social media, as she mentioned, and let her know that Dr. Jacqueline sent you.
Yes.
Tina, it's been my pleasure having you today, and I look forward to collaborating with you in the future, having you back on another show or this show.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. It's been really fun.
Thank you so much. I'll see you backstage in a minute.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye. And thank you, everyone, for your loyalty. I say this after every program. It's been an absolute pleasure having you today on Stories of Hope, Inspiration, Overcoming Adversity. We have another show coming up right after this with Reed Umstead, who was on season 14 of The Voice on NBC. So we hope that you'll stay tuned and you'll join us for that. We also have some new programs that we're launching next week. One is Conversations of Substance, and that's with Alex Kaplan. And the other one is with Amina. She is a pet psychic. So we're really looking forward to those programs, and we hope that you will too. Stay tuned for our shows next week, and we hope we'll see you in 15 minutes in the other studio. Take care.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.